Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been over a month since I have posted a video last, and I'm just gonna say I've had zero motivation and desire to make a video and go through the process of posting it, but I'm finally here. I'm finally doing it. It's definitely something that I want to continue doing. I think I am just trying to figure out what pace works best for me and my current lifestyle right now. So for this video, I am doing something I haven't done since high school, which is Linocut. I didn't have any of the supplies that I needed to be able to do this, so I made a quick stop at Blix and picked up basically the essentials, which is a roller where you spread the ink on, and then the tools used to cut into the rubber mat, a rubber mat, and then one bottle of water-based ink. I only got one bottle because those little guys are expensive and I'm working with a tight budget right now. So I got the color that I thought would be the most versatile and one that I just really liked. Since it's been since high school, I struggled for so long to put these little tips or cutting nibs, I don't know what you call them, into the top of the handle, but finally I was able to figure it out. I've been in this creative slump in the past 2 months, and I think in my last video, or one that I posted recently, I talked about different ways that you can get past a creative block. And let me tell you what, I have been trying to stay true to myself and do those things that I suggested for you to do. And in some ways, I think they have been helpful, but in other ways, I just feel like I'm kind of still in the same unmotivated place that I was a couple months ago. And I don't know if it's just because I have a lack of inspiration, if the cold, dreary Ohio weather was getting down on me or what was going on. But whenever I had the sudden urge to do Linocut again, I went with it because that was the first little bit of inspiration that I have felt since the beginning of the year. And so I decided that I'm just going to go for it, kind of learn along the way, teach myself as I go, learn from others that I see. So you'll see me, I went ahead and sketched out what I want to actually cut into, or what I want to actually be able to stamp. I just drew it in my sketchbook, and I tried to make the lines dark with the pencil so that I could press it onto the rubber, so that basically I could transfer it and then have the drawing on the mat wherever I'm going to be cutting into. There are probably transfer papers or different methods of doing this that are technically how you're supposed to do it, but again, I'm kind of on a low budget right now, and so I'm just using what I have and trying to make it work the best as I can. I'm going to tell you that the first cuts were so stressful and so intimidating. This block piece that I bought was almost $20, and so knowing that there's no going back once you start cutting into it and taking the rubber out, that's it, you can't glue it back in. And so I was so stressed and overwhelmed, and I couldn't decide if I wanted the plant in the pot itself to be solid colors, or if I wanted everything to have a line art type of feel. I kind of went with a mixture of both, but mostly just solid colors because I thought that that would be a lot easier and a lot less carving into. I definitely forgot what it was like to carve into the rubber, and I started off with the smallest tip that I could because I was too afraid to make a mistake and then not be able to go back. So I was like, well, if I make a really small mistake, then that's easier to fix or easier to work from. But then I soon realized that that was way too small, and that was going to take way too long to actually carve out everything that I needed to carve out. So I went to a little bit bigger, I think the medium size, and that worked a lot better. And honestly, after I made a couple of cuts, I felt a lot more confident to just go with it. I also struggled with like how to end a cut. I think it works best to like angle the blade. I don't know what you call that little thing. If you know, please let me know in the comments because I'm struggling here. But I found that if you like turn it up at the very end, then that is much better than what you see me trying to do sometimes, which is like go the opposite direction and like cut down from it. That just like wasn't as clean and probably a little haphazardous. So I'll definitely from here on out be doing the like curving up at the end to end a cut. Also, this is like my first official voiceover. I mean, I've done like voiceovers before, but they're usually like not this long. And I think this is kind of fun. Like, I'm able to sit here and rewatch what I was doing, and like I'm at a slightly different place now than what I was whenever I was doing it. And it's just interesting to like think through that. And I don't know, I'm definitely feeling a lot more motivated and in a better creative mindset than I was even while I was making this stamp. I think I've been a lot more easy on myself. I haven't been so like, you need to be creating something. Like, why are you wasting so much time? Like, you have some markets coming up. You could be selling more if you're creating more. Like, all of these things that are not actually helpful. Like, I'm telling myself all of these things that are not actually that helpful to bring my creative self back. Now I feel a lot more like, you know what? It's okay that it is taking time. Like, it's taking a few weeks, a few months for me to feel inspired again and kind of have a desire to make something and share it with people. And that is okay. And it is not like this, there doesn't have to be this rushed timeline of when I should be creative or creating things again. So I'm feeling like I'm being a lot easier on myself, and yeah, it's still hard though, because like I want to have a successful business and I want to share my art with people, and I want it to be something that people can enjoy and, I don't know, feel like they can experience a deeper and more meaningful part of life through my artwork. So yeah, it is hard to be kind of in a slump because what I want to happen is not happening, or it's taking a lot longer to happen than what I would like. But it is okay, and I don't need to like rush myself, because chances are I will end up creating something that is not as meaningful to myself or you. Alright, I've spent most of this video talking about like the creative block and how I am doing creatively, and I kind of want to just like talk about other things that have been happening in my life. My son turned 2 years old in February, and so he has been so much fun to be around and to play with and to teach things to and to learn things from. And because the weather is finally getting nice again in Ohio, we love to go play outside, and I'm super excited to start planting our garden. We like moved our garden to the other side of our yard, and I think it's going to be a lot nicer for a lot of different reasons, but I'm really excited to plant the garden. I'm hoping to do a lot of canning and freezing and like, I don't know, like homesteading type of things as much as I can do in the city and with our limited space and honestly my limited knowledge on canning and growing my own food and that kind of thing. But I'm excited to have another growing season of like trying to learn those things. What else is going on in my life? I have a couple markets coming up, and I'm really excited to start doing more of those this year, and I'm hoping to have more Linocut prints at my markets. Kind of my goal in making these, or one of my goals in doing Linocut and making prints, is so that I can make my own prints. Like, I only would have to make a couple at a time. When my business is doing well and I am going to a lot of markets, selling a lot of prints, selling a lot of originals, stickers, greeting cards, like all the things that I make and sell, whenever my business is doing well, being able to order prints from a third-party printer works really well. I really like how those prints turn out. The print quality is really good, and I really like the paper that I choose to have my prints printed on. But when I'm not making as many sales, it is very difficult for my business to afford market fees on top of buying prints and stickers and greeting cards and all of those things in larger amounts. There's also this element of risk in ordering, say, 25 prints or 50 stickers. Sometimes those things do really well and I end up selling out of them, and other times I don't sell very many. So I think being able to just make a couple of prints at a time using Linocut, I'm going to be able to make things, see how well they do at markets and in my shop, and then if they do really well, I can make more of them, or I don't have to have 25 prints on hand at a time waiting for them to be sold. I can make them like as they sell. And I think for me that is just going to be a much more sustainable way to go about my business right now. As you can see, my son is now woken up from his nap, and there are some art projects that are so much easier to do with him sitting in my lap, and this, I will say, is one of the easier ones to do. Painting and trying to draw is usually like so frustrating to try and do when I'm holding him, but this one was actually manageable, even though like he's like definitely crowding my space. Maybe one day it will inspire him to be creative and do similar things like this, or do something that he does all on his own. I try and push through whenever he is awake, and we just kind of roll with it. This whole process of slowly making these cuts into the rubber and choosing what I wanted to take out and what I would actually want to be printed was really relaxing. Let me tell you, it was very satisfying to actually finish the print, having everything like cut out that I wanted cut out. I cleaned it up a little bit, tried to get all of the shavings off of it. I'm excited that I'm gonna keep doing more lino cuts and making more stamps because it was just a really good time. I like that I was able to finish a portion of this project in one sitting. Even though I didn't make like official prints in this video or like in that sitting, I was able to finish the stamp and test it out. And for me, that is something that feels very satisfying. So I use a paper canvas, like a throwaway canvas thing. I don't know if you've ever seen those or if you use them, but it's basically like a piece of paper that is waterproof, and so then it's like a little canvas, or not a canvas, a palette. So I used that to put the ink on and then to spread it out, but as you can see, that did not work very well. I could have like taped it down and that would have helped, but next time I will be using like a piece of glass, like a pane of glass from like an old photo frame or something, because I think that would work a lot better because it wouldn't move around so much. Putting the ink on, or like rolling the ink on the stamp, was so fun, and it just made me so excited to actually put it down on the paper and see how it was going to turn out. And here is another way that I was using what I have, and I didn't want to spend money on one of those like push down things to basically like push the print down onto the paper, because I thought that I would be able to use something else that I had, and turns out little plastic water bottles work just fine. I made 2 prints in my sketchbook because I wanted to see how they would differ, and it was just so fun to actually make the prints. So here they are. I think they turned out great, so I'm definitely excited to continue making these and create new designs. I'm already filling my sketchbook with lots of new ideas of things to cut out. So alright, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been here from the beginning, thank you so much, and I look forward to making more videos and doing more art with you.